You're welcome to another interesting section with the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe, in a joint interview section with the presidential spokesman, Garba Shehu. Yes, in this interview, the Senate Minority Leader, Enyinnaya Abaribe, lectures Garba Shehu. You know, I do tell people that whatever thing that predominantly occupies your mind, you can never think above that thing. And your life, in fact, you can never rise above that very thing. The Fulanese think cow. That is the only thing they know how to do. That is why for 6 years now we've been discussing cow and cattle insecurity in the country. But here, the Senate Minority Leader Enyinnaya Abaribe teaches and lectures Garba Shehu about Eastern Security Network, lectures him on Nnamdi Kanu, and why the Nigeria and indeed the Fulani government is wrong to have tagged him a fugitive or he jumped to bear. He disproved them and proved them wrong on this very interview. Listen to them and you will never regret it. Please do well to keep subscribing to our channel. Keep supporting us, and Elohim greatly bless each and every one of you. Thank you. God bless you.
For a country that is undergoing this type of problems that we are undergoing, at every point you want to have a conversation, then somebody from the presidency turns around and becomes personal. You understand? And let me educate Garba Shehu. A judge said you need a senator to stand shorty, and I did. And the military attacked the man before the day he was to come to court, and he escaped for his life. Then turning around, oh, you stood shorty for a criminal. What makes him a criminal? That is carrying flag and saying, I want another country. Is he carrying AK-47 in the bush and kidnapping people and killing people? So that is why it's always very difficult to have a conversation. The reason is that at all times, when you want to have this conversation, there's a fallback to okay, this is the situation, so why should we listen to you?
What we cannot run away from right now is that there is a rhetoric of hate, a rhetoric of suspicion, a rhetoric of distrust. That is prevalent even amongst the elite. I mean, this morning we're seeing in one of the papers, governors at war. That is also there, right on the front pages. And we're beginning to see the results of the hate, of the suspicion, and of the distrust being manifest, as we saw in Shasha, in Ibadan, as we also saw in some parts of the East, even though that has not been confirmed. The video clips we saw of people called the Eastern Security Network going to the bushes and burning settlements of, perceived enemies. Isn't that a problem?
I think it is. And I think that what we need to do is always to have a conversation to be able to lower this tension. It is not a conversation of one person always pointing accusing fingers on people when suggestions are being made on how to de-escalate the tension that we have. It is this insensitivity that is leading everybody to say, okay, if you're not willing to listen to me, let me arm myself. That is all that we're seeing. I'm very happy that Garba Shehu said the president is concerned. So fine, he is concerned. Can he come out and tell Nigerians, I am concerned? That's what Wole Soyinka recommended.
Well, let's go to Lagos now, and I think we can pose that question to the president's spokesperson, Kimberly.
Oh yes, Mr. Shehu, can you just go straight and address that one? The president is concerned clearly, but people want to hear him, not just through a statement, but through his face and voice. Unmute yourself. Please unmute, your device so we can hear you better.
Femi Adesina or myself speak for the president, people should accept that it is the president that is speaking. For the president, for this president, for him, it is the actions that should speak for him. He's not a showman. He doesn't have to be there. And for God's sake, let's be understood. We're not trying to personalize anything. Senator Abaribe dwelled a lot attacking President Buhari, saying that President had never, even at a rhetorical level, spoken against this kind of violence. That is most uncharitable. So we are not personalizing. People should not personalize. This country has problems. It requires the involvement of everyone. All hands must be on the deck to solve these problems. Yes. Community leaders have a role. Senators have a role. Everyone has a role.
Yeah, well, talking about the roles of people, some expect some very strong voice from the president, both in words and in body language. A number of people would say that sometimes it's the body language of the president that is communicating something wrong. For instance, there is a reference that Senator Abaribe made to a segment of Mieti Allah that took ownership of a reprisal attack and nothing happened to them. So, how do you respond to that one?
I think the problem is that we are not following up our stories as media. Otherwise, if you know the thousands of people, and I hope the police command will take, the headquarters of the police will take responsibility and publish the full list of Fulani herders who are undergoing trial in various states, particularly in Benue State. The thing about some of the media is that we are there on day one when the charge is read, and then we turn our back, we move on. But trials are going on, convictions are being made, and the president cannot be complicit. It's very uncharitable, cannot be complicit in the kind of things that are being said of you.
Well, but that is just one of several issues that have been addressed. There are also those who feel like, look, for instance, we asked a political science professor who said that for the security agencies to do their job, they need the political will. And, you know, a good question would be, whose political will? What's your take on that? Is that to say that the security agencies do not want to do their jobs, or that they are waiting for the president or presidency to agree that they should do their jobs?
Discipline and begin to be appreciative of the enormous risks that our security people are taking. They are making it possible for you and I to sleep well because they are exposing themselves on the front lines. So for anybody to say there is no political will, is anybody complaining? Is the IG of police saying he's unable to do his job because he doesn't have support? Look, this president allows you to do your job. Look, people have been found complicit in a lot of wrongdoing in this country. Contract, and the president will never say a minister and say, give this contract to this or that person. So you have the most powerful people in government running the various government departments because the president is not meddlesome. So what does he mean by political will? Well, maybe political will because there are also other layers of government, local, state, and at the federal level, VIPs who they don't want to offend. Then that is the problem. But nobody would do their job right, and then the president will disown them. It has not happened, it will not happen.
All right, then, Mr. Garba Shehu, we do appreciate your perspective this morning. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you very much.
All right, Maka, let's get the concluding thoughts of the senator.
Near concluding comments, first and foremost, I'd like to ask whether or not you would also accept that when the president's spokespersons speak, it's as good as the president.
Well, I don't know where in the world that when a spokesperson speaks, then is the president, when there are urgent matters of state. When things are okay, and then, of course, the presidential spokesman could be giving you updates and so forth. But you could see, just from the coronavirus issue, no head of state in the world did not come out to talk to their people. None. And some were doing it almost on a daily basis. the insecurity that we are facing is also one of the most critical things that we are facing in Nigeria at the moment. And one would have expected that the president will not be detached and then saying, okay, just talk to us, whatever, the spokesman said that is it. But if that is what they call his style, I think that is not such a very good style for the thing that we're facing today.
Well, we understand that you're going to be releasing a book very soon. I wonder I can't wait to see what will be inside the book. But after how many years of public service and still going on, just to have some years left by God's grace, will all of this be chronicled in the book?
Oh yes, I'm starting from my childhood to this point, and I'm 66. So I was an independent baby. I was 5 years when we had the independence in October 1960. And so, there are a few vignettes, a few stories that are told inside there of the possibilities of Nigeria. I told a story about how I became a staff of the Bendel State University. I never knew anybody. I just did an interview. The interview was conducted by the head of department at that time, Professor Lambo, who used to be a minister. How I became a staff of SUA through a man called Ifatugoti. Those are the things. Nigeria was better.
Are you still hopeful for this country?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, I still hope that Nigeria will go back to that, where we don't need somebody calling me to say, please give me a letter so that I can go and get a job.
It's a fine place to live it, Senator. I certainly look forward to the release of that book and the stories that will be written in it. But we have to thank you so much for coming on this morning.
It's my